Hi friends, it's Aubrey. Today's video is going to be all about pantry cooking with a twist. I am going on a trip with my family in a few days, so I needed just a couple of meals and was feeling not so inspired. So I turned to ChatGPT, which is an AI website. I don't know much about it, I'm not that big into it, but I figured this would be a fun way to come up with some pantry cooking ideas that we can make over the next 3 days before we go on our trip. So if you're interested to see what ChatGPT came up with for us to eat, keep watching. Alright, so we're gonna go to ChatGPT's website. I'll go ahead and leave it linked down below if you've never been to it before. You do have to make an account. I just used one of my junky email accounts to make one on there. And then once you're there, you just type in a question. So what should I make for dinner for the next 3 days? And then it'll go ahead and just type out answers to your questions, pulling things from the internet. So it's very fascinating. I guarantee it has looked at lots and lots of blogs and recipe websites, and so it just kind of pulls all of that in and puts it on the screen for you. And sometimes it's not as specific enough, so I definitely want to see what else it can give me. So I have a lot of potatoes. Can I switch out switch out the tofu for something else or something with potatoes? I don't have any tofu on hand. And then it's sure, yeah, let's give you another idea here. Okay, so we'll just see. So we don't have the stuff to really make a curry at home. We don't need coconut milk. Can you give me another option with potatoes? Let's see. It is really fun. I do recommend this, not for everyday kind of knowledge, but this kind of stuff is just fun to do every once in a while. Okay, so it's an interesting potato recipe. It's similar to something we made before, but I don't have any cheese. So I have potatoes, chicken, carrots, ground beef, noodles, rice, sour cream, chicken sausage, well, Italian chicken sausage. Gonna go ahead and add that in. Some marinara. It's really hard to type when you know it's being recorded. Some marinara sauce. I also have some heavy cream, onions, and lots of spices. Let's see if it can make us 3 dinners, which is what we need for the next couple of days before we go out of town. Let's see, it's thinking. It's gonna use what we have and see if it'll come up with some good recipes that we could make. Okay, so creamy chicken, vegetable skillet, Italian sausage pasta, and beef and vegetable stir fry. Those all actually sound pretty good. So maybe we'll stick with those ones. I think we have everything that we would need for those recipes, and it doesn't give me any specific instructions or time that we need to cook things for, or measurements. So we'll just say thank you and leave it at that. And I think this is what we're gonna go with. I'm going to loosely follow the recipes that ChatGPT recommended, especially because there were no instructions really, or measurements, or temperatures and times, all of that good stuff. So what I'm gonna do, they recommended doing a teriyaki stir fry. I don't have as many vegetables as I would like to make a true stir fry, so I'm gonna take this and make it into a teriyaki beef. So I have some beef in the freezer, and just putting that in a pan with some oil, salt, and pepper, and then also a chopped onion because I had half an onion sitting in my fridge that needed to get used up. And while this is cooking, I am going to make up my sauce. I looked up a recipe online just for a regular basic teriyaki sauce. So I will go ahead and link that one down below for you. Just know it makes a lot of sauce. I had probably 3 times the amount of sauce that I actually needed for my meat, but it was really tasty. So I definitely do recommend this beef teriyaki sauce recipe. And it came together really quickly. This was delicious. My husband and I really enjoyed this. It would be great to have a side of broccoli or some green beans or some other veggies in there as well, just to give some more variety. But it was really good as is, so I definitely recommend that you try this one out. I was very excited when ChatGPT recommended making a chicken sausage pasta. I've had one in my tabs on my web browser on my phone for I don't even know how long, probably a month or two at this point that I've wanted to try, but just haven't made it as huge of a priority because most of the ingredients are pretty shelf stable or would stay in the freezer or fridge for quite a long time, so just hasn't been a pressing need. But for this recipe, I used some Adele's chicken sausage. I got that chopped up and sauteing with a little bit of oil in a frying pan while my noodles were boiling. And I also had some broccoli cooking in a small pot of water as well. I'll be sure to have the recipe that I used linked in the description box for you guys, but I did a half recipe. And so I used half a jar or can of pasta sauce and then a half cup of whipping cream. I used heavy whipping cream and then gave it some additional salt, pepper, garlic powder, and Italian seasoning just until it looked and tasted right. And then I went ahead stirred that all together with the crispy sausage. I made sure to simmer the heavy cream and marinara sauce together for about 5 minutes, just until it started to get thick. And then I drained my pasta and added it straight into the sauce and then stirred everything together to make sure that all of the noodles got covered. And then I let this simmer for an additional 2 to 3 minutes or until it looked like it was thick enough. And this was amazing and it made such good leftovers. I'm definitely going to be making this one more often because it was super easy to make, but it tasted like a really expensive dish that took a long time to make. You can definitely top this with some mozzarella or Parmesan cheese just to give it an even creamier texture. And this goes really well with a side of veggies or garlic bread. And it, like I said, it makes really good leftovers. So if you haven't tried a recipe like this out, I highly recommend it. This last meal didn't go completely according to plan or was following what ChatGPT recommended, but it still ended up tasting really good. So let me show you what I made. My plan was to make chicken and roasted veggies with a nice creamy sauce. And while I did do the chicken and the veggies, I did not have time to make a sauce. So what I did was chopped all the veggies, got some olive oil on there, salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and onion powder. And I honestly just eyeball this, which I know is not helpful for those of you who like to measure things. So I'm sorry about that. I probably used about a teaspoon or so of each until it just looked right and stirred it all together and popped that in the oven at 425 degrees for about 20 minutes. And then I had my chicken cooking on the stove and just a little bit of olive oil, and I used the same seasonings for the chicken. And then we just plated this up and we ended up adding a little bit of feta cheese on there, which I did not capture, but that was really good. I can leave a link down below for the sauce I was going to make because it does look very tasty. So if you're wanting to make this and have a nice sauce to go with it, all of that will be in the description box below. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you did enjoy. If you liked this video, please give it a like and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future pantry cooking or other fun home related content videos in the future. And I hope you have the best rest of your day. Bye!